Hello, my friend, and welcome to the Champions Adjust Sports Talk Show. My name is Aaron Machbitz. The biggest news in the sports world right now is that a few NFL teams have hired male cheerleaders. That's right. That's the biggest story in the sports world right now. And if you go on X, there are so many people who are absolutely outraged by this whole thing, by there being male cheerleaders in the NFL. Now, my first sort of reaction when I heard that there was actually people mad about this happening is, the Shane Gillis meme from Tires where it says, "You sound like a potential homosexual." That's the first thing I thought of, where there's about people who are actually outraged by this happening. We know that in cheerleading, men have been involved for a very long time. I mean, there are tons of male cheerleaders in college football right now, and none of these people who are outraged about the Vikings or the Saints having male cheerleaders have been outraged about that in college football. I mean, a lot of these dudes who join the cheerleading squad just want to have sex with some of the chicks who are cheerleaders. Yeah, some of them are gay and some of them like doing cheer, and all that stuff is very true. But the ones that joined the NFL cheerleading squad, I think, are on the Vikings and the Saints. People are absolutely up in arms and outraged about this. This is just like fake outrage. If this is the only thing that you have to be mad about, your life is going pretty good. And I'm, somewhat happy about it because now I can talk about it on this sports show. And it's absolutely hilarious to see some of these tweets out on X of people like, "I'm throwing away my season ticket passes. I'm never watching another Vikings game again. You've lost a fan who's been there for his whole life. Now my son's not going to be a fan of the Vikings. Now we're totally done because you hired two male cheerleaders to be on the cheerleading squad on the sidelines to cheer during the game." It's unbelievable because, 95% of sports, watchers are males, and they go and watch other males perform at a very high level. And some of them go to the games with other dudes' jerseys and names on their backs, which is kind of weird to begin with. But that whole experience I love sports. I absolutely love sports. Sports have been a huge, monumental part of my life. But if you actually love a sport and you love a team, and the hiring of two dudes to be on the cheerleading squad totally ruins the whole experience for you, then you weren't really a fan of that team. And throughout the whole experience, especially on a football game where there's action happening every single play all the time, there could be someone who gets a handoff, runs 80 yards down the field. And if you're so distracted by the one or two dudes who are doing some dances on the sideline, you can't avert your gaze, then refer back to the Shane Gillis meme. You sound like a potential homosexual. If you can't, curb your temptation to really just stare at that dude, the one dude on the sideline with all the other hot chicks doing the dances, then you might be the issue. It's just fake outrage, and whatever the case may be. And maybe some people are actually upset, and that's a weird thing to be upset about, that a couple dudes have joined the cheerleading squad. Cheerleading is just like dancing and sideline cheering for your team. The actual action is happening on the field, and this really only happens in the NFL. Now, if we're talking strictly from a business perspective, just business, then maybe I don't think it's a super good business decision by the NFL because, again, 95% of people who watch the NFL are dudes, and they just don't want to see other dudes dancing on the sidelines. The whole point is that we get to see the hot chicks doing the dances. It reminds me of the movie The Replacements with Keanu Reeves, where they have that scene where they distract the other team with the hot cheerleaders. Like, that's just sort of what we think about. But really, we're going to the games because we love watching the game. So maybe if you think about from the most micro scale about the NFL and a business decision, then maybe it's not the best business decision. But the NFL already made the best decision they've ever made by hiring Taylor Swift. I did a video about that recently. Go check that out. It'll be linked below. But that's just another topic for a conversation for another time potentially. But that's the best decision the NFL has ever made. And so it's just so weird to be upset about this thing. I mean, cheerleaders have been male and female for a while. Majority of them, yes, are female, because you can do like sideline cheerleading. I learned this the other day. You can do sideline cheerleading, which is what you see in the NFL, or you can do like all-star cheer, which is like the competitive cheer where it's more like gymnastics, where they do all the things and all that stuff. And you need dudes. Dudes have been in there all the time, holding them up, balancing them, doing all that shit. I don't know the actual sort of structure of it. I don't know the ins and outs of cheerleading. I just see, girls flipping up and down and some dudes carrying them. And a lot of the dudes in college only join the team so they can have sex with the chicks, right? It's all sorts of stuff like that but then we explode. We absolutely lose our minds, revoking our season tickets, never watching that team again for simply a couple gay dudes, joining the cheerleading squad. It's just ridiculous. There's no reason to be upset about it. The actual sport is not changing. The thing you love is not changing. Nothing's happening to the sport. If you're an actual sports fan, you should worry about the NFL getting soft. According to Tom Brady, that's what you should actually be worrying about. You should worry about it turning into freaking two-hand touch and the intensity of it going away and the viciousness going away. Just listen to Tom Brady, how much it changed in the 20 years he was in the NFL and what he says now when he's commentating. If you're a real fan of the NFL, that's what you should be more worried about, that the game is getting soft, not that some dudes are going to join the cheerleading squad and do a few flips on the fucking sidelines. That's what you should be worrying about if you actually care about the sport. You should keep the sport about merit and about intensity and about competitiveness and about, teaching life lessons and about the professional sports trickling down into youth sports and making everyone better because of sports and using that as a vehicle to transform lives, because most people aren't going to be professional athletes, but most people are going to be professionals in something. And so if the higher level sports can teach what it's like to do that, and then we can build youth sports as something that's powerful, that's a vehicle, that's a driver for change and love and competitive nature and, effort and going your hardest and giving your best and like a teamwork and respect, all those things. That's what we should actually be worried about, what sports can teach us about life and what sports can do as a community to bring us together, whether it's cheering on our home team or our home team winning a championship after 90 years. Like, what can sports do to benefit our lives, to bring communities together rather than just having this fake bullshit outrage over a couple people joining a cheerleading squad, which you never cared about before, but now it's like the thing you're willing to die on. Like, it's a ridiculous thing. It's fake. It's bullshit. Let's really, truly care about things that actually matter in this world, that make a difference in our lives. And I love sports. I think sports are a really important part of our life. They can be great entertainment. They can teach us about life. They can give us something meaningful to do and to buy into. But our lives and our respective lives are much more important. And we should be worried about that more than what is happening outside of us that we really have zero control over. And I say that all after I've made an 8-minute video about the current situation of there being male cheerleaders in the NFL. But it is what it is. I'd love to know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know right now. Then like this video and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.